Ta-da-ta-ta-ta-ta. Hey guys, we are live and welcome to episode 32 of the weekly. And as you guys can see, I am somewhere else. I'm traveling in the hotel room and I'm here with Warren Bowman. How's it going, man?
Going good, man. Rainy Saturday.
Yes, I apologize. I didn't set this up last night. I did, and then I went to bed because it's been a long week. So I'm sure you guys will watch this later. So anyway, how you doing, man? How's I know we missed the show, but we're back live. You recovered from crazy October?
Yeah, it's been a interesting October. Busy on across all fronts. But it's good. And I think now it's finally kind of settled down where we can really sink in and start to look at devices a little deeper, get into using them.
Look at it's holiday gift guide time.
Oh, no, I've refused to do that ever since, and I still refuse that to this day to do that damn holiday gift guide nonsense.
All right, let's
Who
get
buys from
back
a
to the
holiday gift
show.
guide? That's what I want to know. Who buys from these?
People do. People actually buy from the holiday gift guide. That happens. We wouldn't have a gift guide if
I'm
people
not sure.
weren't actually using it.
All right, I just froze, or your video froze.
Yeah, my connection. So for some reason, my connection is cutting off. So right now, I'm using the Samsung Galaxy Book 2. It's always connected PC. It's been great because I've been able to just connect to the internet and jump in and use. Hey, Sam, how's it going, man? Sam waved, no sound. So I guess. Oh, snap. Sorry, guys. I apologize. This is my fault here. I have to go in and fix something because I set the video to private.
Oh, I was wondering if I find the stream. I was looking for the stream.
Yeah,
so no one saw this.
No one saw this.
Start over again, I guess.
Well, we're going public now, so basically everybody will see it in a second. Yeah,
video.
So
private. Come on.
Should be live now.
Yeah, it'll probably take a couple minutes to refresh. There we are.
Yep. We are. I know. I kept on seeing just one view, and I was like, "Oh, that technically is me because I'm looking at the live chat."
And I'm looking.
There is no live chat.
And I'm trying to find the video to go get to the live chat, and there's nothing there.
It still says private, though, is it?
No, it's up now. It is up now.
Mine isn't updating to say public.
You might want to retweet this so everybody can jump in.
What's up, Sam?
Hey, what's going on?
Not much, man. I like that wide angle view you're giving us, man. It's like that Huawei view, man. Woo!
It is a consequence of my webcam. I'm using webcam today.
Oh, I see. So, yeah, apologize, guys. I went Saturday private instead of live. So, if you're watching, you're gonna catch up on the videos here. But thank you for joining us anyway. And we are back to the live show. This week was an interesting week. Not a lot of launch announcements like we've had in like the rest of the month, but we've got a lot of rumors from Samsung. I mean, I think Samsung was like not to feel left out. All these sexy phones that are out there like the Huawei's and stuff. There's a lot of rumors coming out about the Galaxy S10, and I'm just going to read some of them. This is from an insider who spoke to Bloomberg. Now, we've heard of some of these rumors before. It says Samsung is planning to reveal 3 S10 variants. One of them could be 5G phone. They did say the Galaxy S10 lineup consists of 3 phones, a 5.8-inch Galaxy S10, dual curved AMOLED, triple camera at the back, regular ultra-wide telephoto, in-display fingerprint scanner, and underneath the display. Now, this also confirms a leaked image from a conference they had in China where they showed 4 things. I don't have that image here. But the first thing was under display fingerprint, which would be ultrasonic, which I think is Qualcomm's tech. And supposedly that will allow it to be the whole display. to be used as a fingerprint sensor.
Mm.
Second is Samsung is also going to be using the display to emanate sound, say vibrate sound, just like the Sony TVs. Third, Samsung also will have the cameras underneath the display, or it would be some people have shown it as a pinhole. Like, nobody knows how this is going to look like, but already that phone is already priced at $1,500. I mean, when you state those three things compared to every other phone now, which is like $1,000, you're looking at a $1,500 phone, which is why some of the rumors now point to there's an entry-level Galaxy S10, which would be a flat AMOLED display, which would likely have a side-mounted fingerprint scanner, or at least a rear-mounted fingerprint scanner, and a single camera at the back. So what do you think about some of these rumors, man? I'll start off with you, Mr. Bowman.
It seems a little, 3 devices seems a little far-fetched for them. But they would introduce 3 for the Galaxy S10. I mean, it's going to be a big deal. They're going to have a lot of pomp and circumstance around this thing, but I don't see them making a truly cheaper version, because I don't see why they would do that if it's going to hurt it's going to hurt their flagship or their main one that they're going to want to push and sell. I think what we will see is there'll probably be a difference between the regular and plus model again, where the plus model is just going to get more than what the original model is going to get, but the plus model is going to come with a like $200 to $300 price, probably $200 price jump because of that. Them trying to the fingerprint sensor under the screen, I think that's pretty good. Yeah, I think that's about time we kind of got to that point. Yeah, I think that'll work out really well. As far as the camera, I think I saw that the front-facing camera, or the way they have it on or this A10 or whatever, or their sort of the renders they're hinting at.
The A8S.
A8, yeah, A9S, which is showing just has like a pinhole in the top. I think that's a great idea. I think that's a way to handle it without having to have a notch or anything like that. It's a little less obtruse to the entire display. You still get a large part of the screen, and you get that advantage of getting that extra display on the screen without something sort of hunkering down, getting in the way visually from it. Which also allows, like, if you don't want to use parts of that display, if you're developing where the camera is, you can still, kind of chop your app down or your video down to avoid that strip where the camera is, but you still get sizable amounts of screen still in use from that. So I think that's a pretty good thing to have as well too with it. Triple camera setup seems to be where we're going. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cameras until whenever. Camera inception, as you can see on E's screen over there.
Is it still camera inception?
Yeah, well, you have inception right now.
Is it still camera inception?
Yeah.
I have an image up. I was trying to show you guys the mock-up of the A10s camera, but it looks like camera inception to death. So
yeah.
But yeah, it basically, some of the mock-ups show the camera position either at the center or either of the sides. Sam, what do you think?
It's all rumors, man. So until we can start hearing more about it, I would just say it sounds good, I guess. They're saying the 3D face scanner should be a thing. They're going to have a new interface, which is interesting. I guess it is about time for Samsung to update the what they call
Samsung Experience. Well, it's technically out. So right now, XDA developers have gone through Samsung Experience 10, which isn't going to be available till next year. They already gone through because a bunch of people have done betas on there, and it's streamlined. It's not that different, but it's
as long as you don't have to swipe up twice to get to an app drawer.
No.
Okay. I think we'll be okay.
But I mean, I know you said rumors, but this is rumors, but also coming from at least one leak from a Samsung event where they did show all those pieces of tech.
Yeah, Samsung has had tech for quite a while. that could do a lot of the things we're looking at. So it doesn't mean that all of this is going to go into the S10. You know, it doesn't mean that that we're going to see this phone, but that we're going to see it in the S10. It doesn't mean that all the 3 or 4 variants are actually going to be the S10. It could really just be a regular S10, and then you have the anniversary edition. Or it could be things that are going into something like your Skunkworks with the Galaxy S, like they're calling the foldable screen. So, like I'm saying, it's rumors.
I don't see them going past the 2-phone strategy. They have no need to.
They kind of do. It's a 10-year anniversary, so they're going to do something.
Just make the S10 better.
No, they're going to throw out there a version of the phone that is everything in the kitchen sink. It's just that's just the way it's going to happen. That will be the regular S10.
Yeah, but you're not going to introduce a third model that's an anniversary model that you're going to have to sit here and update and keep up with and put features on it that might not show up in other devices later, depending upon the sales of that other device.
If you get it directly from Samsung, they can handle all that on their own. And yeah, it's easy.
Yeah, but no, what I'm saying is I don't want them to fragment this in a way that this turns into where
it's not fragmentation. If
this thing has features that don't exist in other phones because it didn't sell well or something else didn't happen with it, and now you have to wait to add those back down. That I don't want to see that sort of thing happen here with it, and then just put a third phone for just no other reason.
I'll be right back.
I think having an S10 and a S10 Plus and just making them the best versions of what they can be is a better idea than let's make some anniversary blah 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 edition and then the next year make it that the regular phone. Apple had to do that, but I just can't see them having a reason to really do that because the S10 is the S10 regardless.
Well, I think the anniversary edition is going to be a combination of hardware, probably more on the feature side, and also on the color / appearance side. But yeah, like you said, it then folds into what comes out next year. But the anniversary edition is always going to be the anniversary edition. The anniversary edition is the only one that's going to be called the S10. Everything apart from that is probably going to be called the XX1 or the S11 or whatever. But the anniversary edition is going to be the anniversary edition. So I can see them at next year coming out with 3 to 4 phones.
But what's the advantage of having an anniversary edition phone?
Well, that's where they can charge those people who want the anniversary edition phone $1,500.
They won't do that. Not even Apple. Not even Apple did that with the first iPhone 10. They use the anniversary idea as a way to shift the numbers over and to sit here and produce a new.
I generally think that Samsung is ballsy enough to do it, and I generally think there is a market for something if they push out like enough tech, enough I'll say enough future proofing.
Okay, so what would you add in the anniversary edition that you wouldn't add in the other phones?
Fingerprint under the screen. I wouldn't add it in the S10. I'll add it in the anniversary edition because that's a big draw.
Not a big enough draw for anyone not to just wait till next year to get it.
Well, it might be.
I would get the whole and beyond the fact that if you run into a situation where Apple or somebody beats you to that, some other major competitor beats you to that on a regular, like it's just a common device that just shows up.
Put it on the Note. They have options.
But the Note's not their flagship phone.
No, it's not.
This thing, they have to come out. It needs to be that phone. Regardless of what happens, this needs to be, if they need to set this phone up to a way where the price does not drop on this phone for a year.
But your anniversary edition also needs to be a phone that people who want to say, hey, I am that, forward thinking, I'm that limited edition person. And that's what the X was for iPhone. And that's what this is going to be.
Yeah, that matters right now with the XS out that looks exactly like the X, but actually technically has better hardware in it and looks no different. Use the same cases.
Yeah, well, the XR that uses a different case and basically gives you face.
The XR, yeah, but not the XS. The XS is exactly like the 10 that came out, which is a spec bump.
But
so there's nothing special. If you've seen it, it's not even in the signal.
Again, it's not the X. So when everyone's talking and putting your phone,
it's the X.
Is the XS whatever is whatever you like. Hey, this is the original X, right?
Yeah, okay. You go ahead and tell the difference. Go ahead and go out there and find two of them and tell you.
It stops being about the hardware. At some point, it stops being about the functionality. At some point, it just is about the bragging rights, and that's what it is. An anniversary edition is not always about functionality. It is about just sometimes bragging rights.
Okay, I hear you.
Or a 10S. Tell me where the difference is between the two, where you get the bragging rights for that.
I do hear you, Sam. Which on one end, which has caused the resale value. Like I sold mine, and it went for about $700, which is pretty high for a phone for a year, only losing $300 in value.
Well, yeah, because they released the same phone over again.
It
is called S.
Now the other part to his argument is the truth is, even to say the bragging rights is a hard thing because there is nothing definitively. When I say if I have the X, show me. Regular people won't know the difference. That's just the problem. Like there was nothing that said, especially if you got the black or white one, which is like the standard color. If you didn't get the special color that year, then you're shit out of luck completely. But I hear you. I mean, I think that's the case. But with Samsung, I mean, they might do 3 strategy because sometimes they tend to do this Apple copy.
If they're doing another phone and it's a third phone, it's a different lineup that they're doing. They're not going to just add it to the S10. They want to introduce something new. That'll be the third phone. It'll be something new, something different, something that doesn't fit in these other 2 categories. They're not going to address a third one in the same lineup. And how does that work? What do you cannibalize by doing
that? I don't know.
If I see these fools release an R-level phone, the level of ripping that they would get for doing that.
I mean, yeah, they will get a lot of flack. Now, speaking of the iPhone XR, came out yesterday officially in its glorious 5 colors. We've got red for the Project Red cancer support. I suggest you should buy that if you're going to buy any color. You've got the coral, you've got the yellow, you've got white, you've got blue, you've got black, and you've got a device that spec-wise matches and also unmatches the Max or the XS at the same time. And just general thoughts. I don't know if you picked one up, Warren.
I haven't picked one up yet.
I know definitely Sam didn't pick one up because that's not gonna happen. So I guess I will just talk about it myself then. So yeah, it's nice for an iPhone. I mean, the thing about it though is I think one of the most interesting things, at least I noticed, is taking photos. There is no difference between the two. Even with the portrait mode, like some people's like, this is better. Yeah, you can tell it's better, but it's not significantly better. That's the problem. So there's a justification for that price point and device, but I think it all depends. I'll say the biggest thing I noticed yesterday was that compared to the XS and XS Max, which had big lines, at least sizable lines in my Apple store, my Apple store did not have a single line at all. I walked in and it took me about maybe 10 minutes to get my device and I was out. And I met the best Apple rep. I can't remember her name because she asked me what I wanted. If I wanted a case, I said no. She asked me why I needed the phone. I said I make videos on YouTube. And then she proceeded to ask me what's the best phone with the camera. And I told her it's a Huawei. And she's like, why? And I started explaining some stuff. She's like, oh, hot damn. And I told her it's got reverse wireless charging. She's like, oh, that is such a useful feature. I'm like, Huawei.
And now Apple's going to investigate, find out this person, and fire them. Thanks for costing this person your job.
Sam, how you gonna say it like that? All I'm saying is she was interested in technology. Simple. And yeah, but let's move away from the iPhone XR because I have a very quiet crowd here. Everybody's kind of just looking at me like,
Are you charging your headset with
yeah, that's right. That's right.
It kind of looks good. It looks cool, but I was like, why is there two different? One's red, the other's black. Kind of match the outfit. So yeah, I guess it's you could have done it up like
what
that.
outfit? Because I am black.
So your shirt and the headphones. Headphones. The shirt.
Okay. Yeah. That's
wow.
Right.
And then that teeth so shining is white, so it's like.
All right, let's move on. Xiaomi.
Like these guys are just useless.
I know, right? Xiaomi announced a new device, actually two new devices, but they announced the Mi Mix 3. And this is always interesting with Xiaomi because their company says their motto is taking the least amount of profits, like 10% profits back as a company or something like that. I can't remember their overall motto. But the Mi Mix 3 is a slider that debuts at 6.4 inches for the screen, 4 cameras, 2 in the back, 2 in the front. It's got, very thin bezels all the way around. It's powered by the Snapdragon 845, 93.4% screen to body aspect ratio. And the pricing of this device is about, if I'm not mistaken, starts at $4 something to about $600.
I think there's a 10 gigabit RAM variant.
Yes, there's a 10 gigabit RAM variant, which is about $720. If you just want all that RAM goodness.
Yeah, it's interesting. The phone looks thin, but then it's a slider, so that's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, they are ramping up. So this is their first device that will so Xiaomi said beginning of this year when Huawei had all its issues that they are coming to the US market and they're coming to the European market. I believe this device is the first that will have an official launch next month in the UK. And then they're going to ramp things up into the US market early next year. So it's interesting because Xiaomi is this company that they've got this Rockstar CEO in China. That I remember going to the Qualcomm event last year when he came out. The Chinese media and press, it was like Iron Man came on stage. Like they were hollering and hailing and like I was like, okay. I didn't know it was like that. And he's well beloved. They like to push these low prices. They have their new gaming phone, which is priced at $400, I think. But it does have a Helios processor with the new Helios P70. Their laptops they have a gaming laptop that has the same specs as any gaming laptop you can think of, right? But it's $1,000 less on average. So it'll be interesting to see how they actually do in the Western market as they move forward. But yeah, speaking of the next phone is Warren's favorite phone, the Honor Magic 2 is coming out.
Oh yeah, the Honor Magic. The first one they put out, I think they never released it to the US. I was like, this is a really good phone that should really bring to the United States. And they just don't.
Yeah, that didn't come out. The Magic 2, I think, might, because Honor's released all their phones here in the US, via Amazon.
Yeah.
And the Magic 2 seems to follow the same design variant as the Mi Mix, dual camera at the back, and then the front. It's a slider as well, very thin.
It's been 2 years because they didn't release an Honor Magic last year.
No, they didn't.
They just had the one. But they've been push the other Honor phones, and I'm like, I feel like the Magic is like, in a weird way, should be their flagship phone, and I don't know why they don't position it that way. It's a weird strategy
because the Honor 8X and the other Honor phones sell well, and according to Amazon, not even them, they have the best buy to return ratio. It is less than 1%. So they have a customer base that, especially that started off with the Honor, I think it was the Honor 5X or the 7X. I can't remember which one, but they have a very good. So that line of phones does well for them. Plus it helps that the Magic is going to be powered by the Kirin 980 processor, which is the same processor in the Mate 20 Pro. So I think there's a lot of benefit for them there as a whole. So yeah. And I think we ran out of topics, man. That's it.
Yeah.
Unless there's anything else people want to discuss today that we found out.
Yeah,
I
like
missed.
Google's uselessness.
What did
Yeah.
Google do again? Sorry,
Yeah, the
I've been
Andy Rubin thing.
No,
what
not even
thing?
Google's thing.
The $90 million they paid off to that guy to go away. Sexual harassment case.
Okay,
Everyone
please.
know about that, please.
No, I missed that one. So what happened? Could you explain?
I think I sent it in the link, or
That's not in the link, sir.
maybe it's in the chat. I don't know.
No, it's not in the chat. No, I didn't see it.
I definitely, I know I sent it into the group chat. I thought I did. Like, let me switch around here.
Oh yes, Xbox Game Pass is coming to PC.
Oh, so basically, Alphabet reportedly paid Android lead Andrew Rubin a $90 million exit package despite claims of sexual misconduct, basically.
Yeah.
Google paid,
Yeah, I mean, some people might consider that as hush money, or maybe Alphabet was just thinking we need to just get rid of that so that we don't, again, it's a very different climate now. You just can't be doing things like that. And then when did he leave though? Right?
I think it was 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
2 years ago,
yeah. So
actually, sorry, 4 years ago.
Well, yeah. To be fair, in context, it's a very different climate between now and 4 years ago.
4 years ago. Yeah, when Google probably thought they could sweep it under the rug and have people forget about it. Now they probably would have to go and investigate it, and it'd be nice to see what comes up from any investigation, internal or external investigation that happens, or independent investigation that happens. Now, my uselessness was basically the fact that anytime now I say the keyword for my Google Home and I ask it to do something, it now suggests, oh, I could do this with I'm like, I don't need you to give me extra words. Just do what I'm asking and shut the hell up. If you're gonna give me a suggestion, put it on my phone where I can either read it and do it right away or swipe it away. Right? Don't talk to me for more don't talk to me past you're saying yes or no. Okay, I'm asking you to do something. I'm not asking you to have a conversation.
Okay, Sam. This is how you create AI robots that want to kill you. It's trying to have a conversation with you, Sam. It's trying to tell you
AI robots that take over the world because they think they can have conversations with you. You put them in their place. You're a machine. Yes or no. Do what I want, and you don't need to think anymore. Simple as that. You don't need to be smarter than I need you to be. Just do what I'm asking you to do. Don't suggest the whole world for me.
I mean, just to give people context, this is basically, and I had the same thing this morning when I was leaving. Google Assistant, when you say, hey Google, turn off the lights, or hey Google, turn on the lights, it will tell you, it will do the task, but it also tell you, I turning off lights, and I can do that with the good morning routine. And they're like, okay, I heard that the first time. Let's not do this.
Tech Leathercraft says Sam's going to be the first to go. Probably.
Tech Leathercraft, that is so true.
We're going to be like, so when the robot overlord comes in, we have a list of names they should take out first. I'll probably be at the top of that list.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that is, you're right. That is a little bit of a uselessness on there. People have a couple of things to talk about here. Ronald Collins says Xbox Game Pass is coming to PC. Yes. Microsoft's earnings report said it was it's been big for them. Also, Xbox sales have gone up because of bundle package, and also they've seen increase from their subscription model as well. So it looks like all those subscription things that Microsoft had in mind is coming, they had their best quarter this year, I believe, and now are positioned as number 2 most valued company because Amazon lost so much value in 2 days. Then let's see.
Position as number 2?
Microsoft is second most valued company. Apple is still at $1 trillion, and then Microsoft is at $823 billion. And then some people are asking disappointments on Pixel 3 and OnePlus. I would say I'm not disappointed in Pixel 3. There's some design choices that I just don't get with Google on that phone. I mean, although Zach,
go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was gonna say Zach did a breakdown and tear down of the phone. The camera lens, the wide angle camera lens, is that big, which is why the notch is that big. So I get that part now. But some of the OS design things, which that double swipe to go to your app tray makes no sense whatsoever.
No, that thing is so damn annoying. I did that single design. That's such a flaw there that I think anyone that picks up the phone is immediately going to be turned off from it. Just that alone, it's such a mistake, and I think they're going to have to learn that lesson a little bit hard, because I think anyone that upgrades Android 9 or from as far as like other manufacturers will go nowhere near that. They will completely ignore that.
So on the Mate 20 Pro, they have gestures here, and Huawei just said you were going to just do what Apple did and make it a little bit smoother.
They literally should have just did what Apple did. They literally should have just copied the same gestures.
Yeah, that's
I mean, and no one would have complained about it. It's like copy the same gestures. Gestures are gestures, but the way they went about that was, let's do the double swipe this and that and change the home button away and move it to over here and make it some line dot, and I'm like, oh my God, this is like, if somebody picks this up at a store, it starts to play around with this thing, they're gonna get frustrated very, very fast.
Sorry, go ahead.
And that's just going to equal to somebody not buying it.
True. IMAX asking, in terms of value, which phone do you think is better value, Pixel 3 or iPhone 10R? Mike, those are two ecosystems that are very different. So if you're an iPhone user, you're not going to switch to a Google phone.
Yeah.
Well, if you're in the ecosystem, like if you're in these separate ecosystems, I would say if you're an Android fan, I would say the Pixel 3 is a really, really good value, but I would actually question that and say, why not just get a Pixel 2 and wait for the updates to come out at this point?
That's a good point. Speaking of which,
it's the cheapest, best iPhone you're going to get. Really, it is. The XR has come out with features that are like comparable to all the other iPhones, and the price is cheaper. So I would say the XR is a no-brainer for someone who doesn't want to spend $1,000 on a phone. It's not a value proposition for each phone versus the other. It's a value proposition depending on what ecosystem
you are.
Yeah, I wish you were hoping they were going to do more with the Pixel 3 than what they did, and I think right now, sort of my use with it, it's just that it's the damn interface, that swiping thing that just every time I pick it up, I'm like, I'm thoroughly annoyed by this.
Have you downloaded Nightside APK?
I haven't. I haven't heard about that. What does that do?
Nightside is basically their own version of night mode on the Huawei. Like Huawei has night mode on the phone. So it's interesting with that though, because everybody's been taking pictures and it looks great. When you do side by side, which I'll do sometime next week, you will see that Google now is doing what Huawei was doing with the P20. The P20 made like a bar at night that was really lit by candles look like it's daytime. Now the Mate 20 makes it look like a well-lit bar at night, and then the Pixel just makes it look like it's somebody open up a skylight in here.
Yeah, that's the thing when you do a lot of stuff with software. When you're doing everything with software and AI, you don't have as much control over the scenery as you want to. So this is the problem that Google's going to have to address.
And that's the thing. And the one, because a lot of people are saying that the thing that the Huawei still keeps is because it's got a bigger sensor. There's still a lot of sharpness. Like you could see still the details when you zoom in.
Well, this will last, I think, for a few more. The advantage they have with the AI thing is, which I think is hilarious, is that they can let everyone else have the better camera hardware, because half the people that do this stuff either upload or back up to Google Photos in some way, shape, or form. They just scan that data and they just look at it, and then it's how they improve their own shit. So their own AI is looking at everyone else's cameras and going, well, we could take this image here and make it work better. I'd like to see, a larger sensor for Google, because the more data you get in, the better your photo obviously is going to be. But it's like, will they ever do a dual camera? I don't think so with what they've been doing with AI here. I just don't see them doing that with the rear camera. I see them maybe making the sensor a little bit bigger, getting those things to be better. But as long as they could pull in more data to push up to their server, that's machine learning based most likely off of Google Photos and everything else that's up there, that's uploaded from other cameras that might have better hardware than them, and then they can go back and figure out and correct that on the fly. They're at a real competitive advantage.
See, I disagree. I don't think it's as big as you think. I think that it only will work so far until they decide to also catch up themselves and put better hardware. Because one of the things here that you have is that you can look at a masterpiece as much as you want. If you don't have the same creator of the masterpiece, you will always have a copy. And that's the problem they will face with, especially if they want to say they have the best. And remember, with all this stuff with the camera, right? The video side of the camera is downright horrible for a flagship phone, which either they haven't touched or they don't care. I mean, I don't even want to on that.
They don't care. But like,
you
gotta remember, most of these guys don't care about video outside of Samsung and LG. They put some effort into their video cameras,
and you gotta put Apple into that the equation as well
too. But that's because people have used Apple phones in professional video shoots before, so there is a way for them to care about doing that. Samsung obviously does well with their video, and LG has put an emphasis on creating great video. Everyone else is kind of, well, it's there. We'll try to not make it as bad. Google just flat out doesn't care. But they might have something down the line that we don't know about that will improve video as well too.
They can. All they got to do. Now I feel like I'm hyping Qualcomm here, but because I only found out this week off a tweet is you know how I was talking about the GoPro camera and this anti-shake uses Qualcomm's platform. It's one of their chips in there that there is no rig, nothing in there. There's no manual stabilization on that bad boy to give you that. And that's something that I'm sure manufacturers will start putting into their devices because just seeing how the GoPro's video is literally steady.
And we also have to remember that in the end, most people care about the photo over the video. So to knock them for focusing more heavily on that and putting in more resources into that side of it, I can't hit them too hard for that.
Oh, I will hit them hard because it's priced like a flagship. Sorry. If this was a $600 phone, maybe $700, okay. You picked and choose your battles, right?
Yeah.
No, but they went to flagship territory, which means you fall into the same ball game as everybody else, right? You have to give us solid. Yes, people are focusing on that. I'm just saying that's how I look at it.
Well, I mean,
and then there's that.
Did they though? Considering that their phone starts at $800 and everybody else's flagship style starts at $1,000.
No, the Galaxy. I'm comparing this to the Galaxy S series, and that started at $800 also. So it's the same. It's the same. I mean, the Note is also a different line for Samsung.
I'm not comparing this to the Galaxy phone. I'm comparing this to what it competes against, which is the iPhone. This competes against the iPhone. It gives two shits.
No. Let's be real. No. Let's be real. Let's be real. It competes against the Galaxy because it only sold 2 million units. It doesn't even come close to what the Galaxy sells. So it's not even competing against anyone, to be fair. It's just basically Google has enough money to throw around and try and compete when they are not even number 3. Number 3 is who? Huawei. That's the big
marketing and everything that they aim towards is against the iPhone. It is not against Samsung.
It doesn't matter. It's not working. No, I know.
At the end of the day, if they were actually trying to go at Samsung, I think they have a different strategy with this. They're not going against Samsung.
I know they're not going against Samsung.
Well, then you got to put them. Then you got to compare them against the strategies that they're actually going against, which is against.
What strategy would they use if they were going for the Samsung? Though
they wouldn't. They can't, because the second they do that, they're going to get shit for it because it would look like a conflict of interest. They can't. They legitimately cannot go at Samsung.
I don't see them doing anything differently if they were going to go against the Samsung. I don't think they'll do anything.
Oh, I think they would. They'd actually give a damn about the video. They'd actually they would know. They would care about the video. They would care about specs. They would care about a lot more stuff than what they're doing now. They would. They would improve the mic. They would try to match the hardware specs of Samsung with extra improvements. But they didn't do that here. They went straight after Google. I mean, after Apple with that.
You're saying they'll try to match the hardware specs with the Samsung, but with a Snapdragon 845?
and not. I'm talking about camera wise,
video
wise as well too.
Okay.
Audio. They probably still have a headphone jack. They still have a whole bunch of other shit if they actually care to go.
I still don't think they would have a headphone jack if they were going up against Samsung, because even now everyone's saying Samsung's going to lose a headphone jack. So I think that battle has been lost. We've lost that battle, and we just need to move on.
Who's saying that? That's just rumors.
There was one rumor. So from the Bloomberg article, they did say that there was one variant without a headphone jack, but all the other 3 variants were. But the article also said that most likely Samsung would not take it away, because Samsung is the benefit of Samsung is a Korean company. They don't want to lose face. They've been talking about no notch forever, and they are not prepared to put a notch in there.
Yeah. But there's another company that comes to mind has been saying, "Oh, we're going to keep the headphone jack," and then in their latest phone, what they do to remove it.
Who?
It's not about OnePlus.
Oh, yeah, OnePlus. Yeah,
OnePlus has a lot of things. You got to learn to just ignore it.
Yeah.
They're a company. Like, I respect what they do, but they're the type that talks a lot of shit until game time happens, and all of a sudden there's a whole shift and change.
OnePlus has forgotten one very simple thing: is their fans are hardcore. Their fans are techies. Their fans also know they are owned by Oppo. Their fans also know that as much as OnePlus talks about design, that phone is designed by Oppo. So whatever phone that is a flagship Oppo that's going to be carried over, they can't change much. If Oppo took out a headphone jack,
that's what it is.
It's done. So instead of them just understanding and saying, look, yes, we are OnePlus. We are sister company to Oppo. We take Oppo designs and we refine them. That's all you have to say. Done. So that you don't have to go through this whole process of,
just don't say any of this at all. They should have not mentioned any of this at all.
Not even mentioned. They put out a poll, and the fans said by 60%, do not take this out.
And they went and did it. And I was like,
and the next day they're like, and there's no headphone jack.
Yes, we need to remove the headphone jack so we can try to sell you accessories.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay,
you bullet wireless headphones. So I mean, it's the like
what I love to see with that is that the companies that do that with no good excuse, people just buy cheaper or other brands of headphones other than theirs. And I feel and that's some part of that, just like, that's a win for the consumer.
Eventually it's going to happen. Actually, on what's it called, a Senso or something like that, or Senso, there are these wireless headphones that I got just so I could run with, because sometimes I get extra sweaty in the summer when I'm running, and it just like damages all the wireless headphones I have. And I was on the elevator at work, and I saw one person on Monday who had the same headphones. And I was walking into the train the other day, and there was someone else with Senso headphones as well. I'm like, I was going to just go and get a cheaper one.
I love seeing that. Because that means consumers aren't getting shafted by these companies doing this BS with a crappy reason why. With crappy reasons why. Like, no actual. I would have respected OnePlus more for that if they'd have just sat out and said, well, we did this for this reason. We don't got a good excuse. We need to make money, blah, blah, blah. Move on. If they just came out with the truth and just said it, that'd have been one thing. But then they didn't do that at all. Hell, it's just...
Oh, the ones I got, they're now, what, $29.99.
Your email, E. How many emails do you get on a regular basis from some Asian manufacturer or company trying to sell you truly wireless Bluetooth headphones? They're trying to offer for you for review?
I mean, it's every day now.
It's like at least one daily, and half of them all look alike. And it's but I get happy when I see those things, because it's like, if it's $20 and $30 on Amazon, somebody's gonna pick it up. That's good. Don't pick up the Apple wireless ones.
So it's going to change. I just got this call. It's the Marvin. Audio wise is not that great, but that's not the reason why it's going to change. So Sam, remember the Qualcomm chipset that you checked out last?
Yeah.
So it's in this right here, and it's always, so you open it up, as soon as you pick it out and I'm about to put it in my ear, I can hear it go connected. Like, now it's that fast. It stays connected, does not disconnect. It's always connected to my phone. Sometimes I don't hear it and I'm thinking it's not connected, and I play something, it plays. So the same freedom that the W1 chipset had given,
and the battery should be better, right?
Battery life is fantastic on this thing because
although
I've had it since Austin, which was last week, and I've been using it intermittently throughout the whole week, and I haven't charged it yet at all. So I mean, I have to calculate what the battery life would be in real time. And the other thing too is, since it's now a platform, since Qualcomm screen as a platform, you're going to see it across so many more manufacturers. And then especially your high-end manufacturers who will just pick it up, put it in, you know, whether it's your Bose or your Sonys or things like that.
Well, they'll definitely do it.
You know, that's going to just change that.
Plantronics will definitely do that. We'll definitely jump into that game. I've been using these backbeat fits for a while, and these are great. These little 3100s for the gym. These things are pretty awesome for that. And I just like seeing these companies now taking advantage of that, where I really truly think Apple and the rest of them really came with the idea that do this. Like, not only are we going to remove the headphone jack, but people are going to be forced to buy dongles or buy our headphones or buy our particular brand stuff with it. And outside of Apple with their ecosystem, which allows them to sell that W1 based AirPods at the price that they can, and which arguably it's a little pricey, but not pricey. I'm a little torn with that whole thing. I don't think it's great quality, but I'm also not like totally upset that it exists. But everyone else is going to fail in that whole thing, and I think the other two manufacturers that are big in terms of size, but not necessarily how many phones they're selling, but you're talking about LG and Samsung and those that could possibly do something like this and then try to offer their own offerings go along with it. I think the both of them maybe at some point realize like that's just not going to benefit us any. That people aren't not just going to go out and buy
our headphones.
They're just not going to go out and do it because we've never paired it that way. We've never pushed it that way. Somebody's just going to go pick up the phone. They're going to go, oh, those Marvins, what are they, $20-$30? And they do this, they do that, and they work with my phone. I'm just going to go get those. And it's you know, who was it? Motorola that removed it. HTC, hilariously, HTC removed it, considering that's just the biggest irony of all time.
I mean, my thing is you remove it, you can't offer why. I mean, like the only company who gave me a decent offering to why was Razer. When Razer said we've got these two giant speakers and it takes up the space. And when people did teardowns, they're like, you possibly could put it in there, but we can see why, because it's going to be really tight fit. Like it's going to be hard to put in. I'm fine with that. And then now they actually have the headphones they released last year were not that great. They now have a pair of wired headphones with a built-in DAC from THX, which they own. And those things sound amazing. I'm like, if you're going to buy a company, leverage what they do well, right?
Yeah.
Don't just, you know, so it's that kind of thing, at least where I say, if you're going to make an excuse for something, give me a legitimate excuse, you know, like Apple, where I was about the courage, you know, and other manufacturers just tell you that it's about, you know, it's about thinner bezels. Like Google said it last year was because of thinner bezels. And I'm like, you've got a massive bezel on top of this device. So what the hell are you talking about?
You know, it's, truth be told, I feel us as a tech community, we're a large part of the blame for this whole stupid bezel race that's turned into why notches exist. Because Lord be Jesus, if we get a phone and it doesn't have anything close to bezel or has some slight chin on it, we give it a knock for it. We start to give a negative vibe towards it. And I'm like, we didn't really need to go this much farther for very, very minuscule extra space on the display. We should have been fighting to get better battery and better display tech. But as usual, we are backwards on those things. Hold on a second.
Yes, we'll hold.
I got a phone call.
Hold it. Somebody asked me about the Mate 20 Pro. In the words of Danny Wingett, this phone is fire, man. It is absolutely like Huawei did what Samsung did with the.
Oh, I just want to jump in one more thing. I saw somebody, Dexter Cumberbatch. That's exactly right. The tech community is at fault why we have glass phones. Because once again, if it wasn't metal or all glass, we bash the phone for not being premium feel. Because we got a bunch of people in the tech community have no idea what they're talking about. Once again, now we are where we buy these glass phones and spend $50 on a 5-cent plastic piece of material to protect it.
Yeah.
And listen, I'm not trying to bash the case manufacturer to send me this stuff because I think they do a good job of what they do. I'm just like, can we just kind of look at what the, man. Don't worry. This is why we don't. This is why like literally their complaints on wanting glass with all this screen and no bezels is the whole, and complaining about chins on phones is the whole damn reason why we have notches in phones and we lost the headphone jack. Whole damn reason why.
And we spend more on accessories.
The whole reason why, because people did get it. Like, who cares if nah, that's the door. Hold on a second.
Welcome to the Warren Show, people, where Warren comes in with comments and thoughts, and then, of course, leaves.
You had your rants today. No, then hold on, Warren to the rescue.
All right, let's talk some gaming. I know you started playing some Red Dead Redemption. How is it? I haven't touched any gaming. Look, just to point out, I have not played. I still haven't finished Gears of War, God of War. I have not touched Spider-Man. I have not touched Tomb Raider, and then Red Dead Redemption is out now. So
yeah, no, I just finished Tomb Raider, and that was not bad at all. That was actually good. I need to go back and do all the whole.
How was it with RTX? Because I know you played it on PC.
It was very nice. It is subtle. It is not like, oh my God, it's going to change the way you see gaming on the PC. But going from a 980 Ti to a 2080 Ti, it's the performance was on point.
Okay, all right.
On point. The story was pretty good. It was okay. But right now, playing Red Dead, I've only been playing it for a couple of days, and I like that game. I actually like that game. It's one of those games where you actually wake up and the first thing you think is, let me see where the story goes. Because the story is very good. You start out like, you start out right after something's gone bad, right after some kind of heist has gone bad, whatever, they're running away from Blackwater. Mm-hmm. So it's really good where you jump in and they're running from the law and they're finding places to hide out. The story just picks up at a very interesting spot because you have this question like, what really went wrong in Blackwater? Because if you remember, John Marston, who is part of this gang, remember, it's always John Marston from Blackwater. So they're all coming together. John Marston is actually part of this gang. You actually saved John Marston in one of the early missions. So it's like, okay, there's all this thing tied into Red Dead Redemption, the original one, and Red Dead Redemption 2 is like a prequel. So I'm just waiting to see, okay, what happens? Why did John Marston really leave, and all the other stuff that comes with it. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, this is typical Rockstar, man. Like they always drop. They spend their time and they ensure that, I mean, they are the other company that ensures that single player games are alive and well. They take their time and they build these things out.
Well, I told you what I was already doing already, where I didn't buy any of those games because I'm waiting for the Black Friday sale. Spider-Man I didn't buy, God of War I didn't buy, and Shadow of the Tomb Raider I didn't buy yet, simply because I am waiting for the Black Friday sale to get all three of those under $100. Because I'm telling you right now, I am on the movement of not buying games at launch because they're all going to need updates, unless it's a Nintendo game, because they're the only company in existence outside of maybe Rockstar and maybe one other company that can actually release games without issues.
Yeah, and the game is 100 gigabytes, right?
Yeah, I saw that. Ridiculous.
106 gigs. God damn.
See, that's why that extra external hard drive is useful, man.
Yeah, it is.
I think I'm going to actually transfer everything to that external hard drive, man.
That's going to be what? That's on Xbox and PS4, or it's just PS4?
Yeah, there's Xbox and PS4. It runs best on. It runs and looks best on Xbox, even though PS4 had the. This is the first. I think this is the first time where
did they allow them to allow it to look better? Because that was a whole big thing that's how they were blocking the X on platform games.
I looked at a few reviews and I looked at like some in-depth reviews, and it looks as though it's the same exact elements on each. It's just the way that the block rendering works, and the Xbox does
native.
I would say
close to native,
slightly better than the PS4 Pro. So the Xbox One S, the Xbox One X versus the PS4 Pro, the Xbox One X is actually doing a little better than slightly better. If you get what that means, yeah.
Well, I mean, it depends. Because I was reading some stuff from, I can't remember, it wasn't Polygon or Eurogamer who said they were talking about the rendering. They said that basically it's the PS4 Pro is upscaled, the Xbox is native, or at least either native or it was I forgot what that resolution, but I think they said native, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
So,
it's still I think it's still 4K at 30 frames per second on all of them. So
all of them, yeah.
it's not like a game
they probably locked it at 30 so that
it's locked at 30. But then you notice more frame rate drops on PlayStation than on Xbox.
Yeah, that's why we're getting PlayStation 5, man.
That's why they'll get updates and they'll fix all those things. But I'm all for the soul play now, fellas. Like, don't buy these day one games at launch. Give yourself time. Stretch these games out. Get some discounts. Get all the updates to come out because they just release these things and they're broken for the most part most of the time as soon as they come out, or they're missing things.
But there's some publishers that I do give the benefit of the developers and publishers I give the benefit of the doubt to, and Rockstar is definitely one of them.
Well, Rockstar's probably not going to release a broken game.
Yeah, they
like that like Rockstar, Nintendo, companies like that aren't going to release a broken game. Now, the last time I bought a game at launch that pissed me off was the freaking Final Fantasy 15, which just like missed everything. Because you got the core game, and then they released the core game again with updates, and then they keep adding other stuff to it. And I'm at the point I'm not playing this again. I'm just like,
you think that bad? Final Fantasy 12, or was it? No, I'm sorry, Final Fantasy 14. Oh God, they literally had to re-release the game and give it away for free. Because
that's basically what they did with 15. And I'm just of the impression with this, like, dude, just release the damn game when it's ready to damn game to be released. Like they could just like
it's because it's
Naughty Dog's also another company that I would buy games from when the day of release as well too, because they also are very good about making sure their games work well. They're willing to put it out there when it's ready, versus everyone else is like, well, we got to meet this deadline. We got to drop it up for the holiday season. Fuck it, we'll just drop it day zero and we'll just release updates and day zero patches whenever they need it. And I'm like, that's just not the way gaming should be, especially when you're spending $60 or more, because you might get a special edition version or something that comes with an extra, map or a game or an extra, case.
Well, you always got to buy this. What was it? It was God of War we were talking about, and you're like, you asked Sam was like, you got to buy the $79 version or whatever it was. I was like, man.
Well, what did the $79 version have?
I can't remember. All I know is like I looked at it, I was like, I have to buy the more expensive one.
It's like $40 now. Probably be cheap in about 3 weeks. Just waiting on it. I can't like the gaming. It just, if you're going to buy games, you just have to like make these companies earn the right for your pre-orders with the reputation that they're putting out quality product. Yep. So many of these companies just do not do that.
Reward the companies that do provide great content. I think you should reward them with your heart and it's a reward to spend your money on products. But companies that continue to screw around and let us down, no. I think they really should be not a boycott, but a stern, we're not buying your next game.
Yeah, you know who got this thing this year for is Activision, considering this is actually a good product that they released this year with their Call of Duty. They released their the version that basically is what do you call this again? Like Fortnite and PUBG.
With Battle Royale.
And everybody was like, it's well balanced. This is what Battle Royale should be. But because you can also add like there's a Call of Duty fatigue eventually kicking in, and people are like, I'll skip this one, and a lot of people are like, no, it's really good. This is what Battle Royale should be in the first place. You're like,
but everybody's playing Fortnite now.
Everyone's
playing Fortnite.
Man, so I've tried to play Fortnite. I mean, I play Fortnite mobile for all the mobile stuff or mobile reviews. I will say though, I mean, Daniel can attest, man. PUBG Mobile. I mean, I was on a roll, man. I was doing the Huawei video. I had 7 kills. There were 2 people left for my chicken dinner. And then I see this guy. I tried to hit him with my scope. I decided to run forward. And then he just used the shotgun on me, man. Ah! Damn. And the whole time, Daniel was like standing behind me. He's like, don't go, don't go, don't go. I was like, I'm going to get him. Don't go, don't go. I was like, ah. So I understand why people play those games, but I can't do that constantly. It's very frustrating. I don't see how you do it on a constant basis.
I don't know how people enjoy that, man. I mean, half my gaming now is playing NES online. That's not even all that great.
I need to. Oh yeah, Sam, I still have your Switch.
Oh yeah, I need to pick that up. I left it over there because I was playing the Mario game, like Mario 3.
Oh my God, Mario 3, such an amazing game. And it forced me to buy the NES online controller that I have to wait till December to get because the Switch controller is just not good for a lot of those NES games.
What? Dude, buy the what's it called?
The Pro Controller?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have the Pro Controller.
I've kind of hesitated getting that thing, but I might get it. But I still want the NES controller anyways, because for a lot of those games, that NES style controller is just better. It's like, especially for platform
nostalgia, whatever.
Well, the thing is, for platformers, controls do matter, and it's like if you don't have the right controls for a game, especially the NES games, it doesn't feel right.
It's all about the feels. It is all about the feels.
Ask people that play platformers, they'll tell you like this. You want to have that right controller, man.
Yeah, you want to have that locked-in D-pad.
Yeah,
circular D-pad. I get what you're saying. The locked-in D-pad is
locked-in D-pad is crucial. The numb thumb D-pad is crucial, man.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, we should wrap up the show. I do have a wedding to go to, so
yeah.
We've come to that part of the show where we find out what you have on the channel and what we can expect next week. Starting off with you, Mr. Warren Bowman.
Why is it always starting up with me?
Because it always ends with me. So sorry, man.
Yeah.
Suck it up and move forward.
Well, I got stuff that's coming up, and what I don't know when I'm gonna do a video on this, but I got the you got the same one, the Atomos Ninja 5, the monitor.
Oh, it's so beautiful.
This thing's so real cool. I have to unplug it here because it's kind of in this weird thing. This real cool thing right here that does a lot of cool stuff. I'm gonna try and do some type of summary video on it because it's like I'm not enough of an expert to really talk about like all the different features within it, but it's got some real cool stuff in terms of just being able to record your content, especially if you want to capture something from like a different device, like a gaming console, or you want to capture some different type of footage so it can go into here. It's pretty cool for that so far. So I'm hoping to maybe get a video out maybe this week on this thing here. And I'm hoping this weekend to get my iPhone XS Max long-term review kind of done. And I'll either release it sometime in the middle of next week, hopefully. That's all I got going.
Cool. On my end, you'll probably see some stuff on the channel right now. We've got the Colonel's unboxing of the iPhone XR, where he does it with some coffee, which probably is not coffee. And we also have I can't remember the other video we have online right now, but we do have a new video series starting tomorrow. Starting today. Video should be up at 6. It's called Should I Buy? So we're looking at tech. Usually we do reviews, but basically looking at a piece of tech, whether it's good or bad, doesn't matter. It's asking the question, should I actually buy this piece of technology? So check that out at 6 p.m. We'll have that up. We're also going to have part 2 of our LG V40 professional camera review from Marian. A lot of people complained that he didn't cover raw files of the V40 because he said he did not like the JPEGs of the V40. So we'll have that for you tomorrow, and maybe changed his mind, maybe he didn't. We'll see about that. And then next week we'll have some stuff from the OnePlus 6T, as well as also we might actually have a review of this bad boy I'm using, which is the Galaxy Book 2. I would say this is the first time that an always connected PC works seamlessly. I am using it. I'm on the internet on here. Technically, I'm giving the review and it's been working. So stay tuned for that next week. Other than that, there'll be more videos as you probably expect throughout this time. Oh, I have one pretty cool one coming up. It's a sponsored video, but it was really cool because it has to do with hearing loss and hearing aids and things like that, and the kind of tech that's going into that. Especially, when you think about audio, and like I like my audio, so the fact that if I can't hear, that would be terrible. So um stay tuned for that. Probably should be up next week also as well. And on that note, we just say thank you very much for watching, guys. It's fun. Juan couldn't be with us today because I mixed up times. I told him a different time, then I changed it
About
back.
3 or 4 times.
Yeah, and then so he couldn't be here. But definitely check out all the channels. Check out Mr. Warren Bowman at bw1.com. You can follow him there on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and also his website, bw1.com. Mr. Juan Bagnell, you can also follow him on his channel. It is Some Gadget Guy on YouTube, also Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, as well as now he's not here for me to celebrate that he went on IGTV. I was so happy when I saw it. And then you can follow Sam, aka Black Iron _man. He is on Twitter and Instagram with that handle. And finally, it is Border Work for us here on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. Yes, Twitter. Also follow us on Facebook. We have different content on Facebook, so check that out as well. And want to say thank you very much, and always enjoy entertainment.